So for day one of the Skylander review series, we're going to start with the character who is the one in the title of the game, and that is Spyro. Now, this is Series 3 Spyro. I wish I could show you my Series 1, but I lost it. I don't know where it is, but down to my opinion on this design, I would have to say that a lot of people don't like this design of Spyro, and yeah, I can see why. I mean, it's kind of ugly. I like his design from the original PlayStation games, but I mean, my personal favorite has to be the one from Dawn of the Dragon. It's just the Legend trilogy. I just think that design's a little better. That's just my personal favorite. Although I do like Spyro's Skylander design with his Legendary and Dark variant. The color scheme kind of fits it more, but I would have to say Spyro's Skylander design is not bad, but there are other better versions of it. For day 2 of the Skylander design review series, we're going to start with another starter pack character, and that is Trigger Happy. So Trigger Happy is one of the most iconic characters from the game. I mean, he's been in Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, his mini. He has a lot, and when it comes to his design, it is simple. Like a lot of Skylander designs, I'm not sure if he's like a gremlin or a troll or something, but I do like his color scheme. The guns are really cool, how they got the cylinders and they're like revolvers, like it's cool. But something I love about Trigger Happy's design is this tongue, because it's a compliment to his personality with him being so crazy in the way that he talks. He's just constantly shooting at his eyes and his big ears. It's just the whole thing. The design is a real compliment to his personality, and I have to say that Trigger Happy is just hilarious and I love him. For day 3 of the Skylander review series, with the designs, we have the final starter pack character, if you get the consoles, and that is Gilgrunt. So, Gilgrunt's, like Trigger Happy, is very iconic. He's perhaps more because he's been in like every game in some way, shape, or form, whether it be an NPC, a repose, or a mini or variant or something. I would just say Gilgrunt well, he's simple, like a lot, as you'll know, but I do like that there's so many creative things with his designs, like his jetpack is water barrels and his main weapon is a harpoon gun. And when you compare him to, say, the other fishmen in the game, he looks basically a little different, but not much. I'd have to say, with Gilgrunt's design, he's just overall simple, and that's kind of what makes him iconic. He's just really simple, and it's good. So for day 4 of the Skylander design reviews, we have here Eruptor. So what Eruptor is he's a lava monster, and well, I guess I have a lot of trouble because I do like Eruptor. He is one of the most famous characters. I'm pretty sure you'll be noticing a pattern with all of these. But I do like that he is he's a lava monster who's clearly modeled like after a volcano. Like, I do like he's got the cracks through him, and how, like, this is where he shoots his fireballs out of. I think it would have been neat, though, if these were a little more, like, orange instead of yellow, but considering the fact that he's red, it is better for the model simply because if these were orange, they would probably not be much different from his skin. But overall, I do like Eruptor, and I think he's solid and simple and perfect at that. So for day 5 of the Skylander design review series, we have this character, Stealth Elf, one of the most, you know the drill, iconic and all, and this is actually true because she's been in like every single game, similar to Gilgrunt. So, when it comes to Stealth Elf, she's an elf. And I'm not hating on the design, I still like it, but the fact is, something that I like about the Skylander series is, because it's fantasy, a lot of the characters aren't like humanoid. Like, you have, even those that are humanoid, they have so many things like the fishmen, the land sharks and all. And so Stealth Elf is just so very much human. Granted, she is an elf, so she's different, but it's so different, and not in the greatest way, to say the least. But overall, I think Stealth Elf's cool and all, but the fact that she's humanoid just doesn't really interest me as others. For day 6 of the Skylanders design review series, we have Hex. Now, yeah, I know it's missing an arm, But granted, anyone who has this character probably doesn't have an intact one. She's famous for being so breakable. But, so my opinion on her design, and this is just personal opinions, don't get offended. She's very much like Stealth Elf in the fact that she is humanoid. And granted, I heard she is an elf. An undead one, so it is a little more unique, and these kind of, I don't know what these remind me of, but they're like, I feel like this is taken from something, I just can't figure out what. But overall, the fact is, and I've said this in the Stealth Elf one, she's very much humanoid, and it just kind of, like, isn't that interesting to me. Like, I still like this design, but it's the fact that it's humanoid, like Stealth Elf, is just, it's not that interesting to me, in my opinion. For day 7 of the Skylander Design Reviews, we have one of my favorite characters, and that is Terrafin. Now, this is Series 2 Terrafin, it's not the original, but really, let's just pretend that this isn't on him, because he still looks basically the same. So, my opinion on Terrafin is, well, he's a land shark, and the fact that he's black instead of blue, which is different because, you know, a lot of sharks are considered like a light blue or gray or something, so it's unique. And I do like his arms, they're rocky as if they're boxing gloves. I think when it comes to his Series 2 and Series 3 versions, these are they emphasize that he's like a boxing shark better, and if you compare him to other land sharks in the game, he is different. So I really like Terrafin. He's cool and just great. It's a personal favorite for me. For day 8 of the Skylander Reviews series, we have another one of my favorite characters, and that is Chop Chop. Now, you might be thinking because, oh, I bashed Stealth Elf and Hex for being humanoid, you think, oh, well, Chop Chop's humanoid, you're probably going to bash him. I could, but the fact is, there is a few things that make him better. He is more interesting because he is a mix of elements. The whole thing of his story is he's an Archean, which are like the bad guys and giants and all. But another thing is in the story, he's a mix of elements, specifically tech, magic, and undead. And they balance out with like the armor and the bones, with him being a skeleton. That's his undead, and the armor is tech. I like that. I love the look of his sword and his shield. I do think Series 2 is more intimidating looking. And but overall, I really just think Chop Chop's humanoid, but he's actually really good. For day 9 of the Skylander review series, we have Whirlwind, easily the best air Skylander in my opinion, and I forgot how big this figure is compared to others. So when it comes to Whirlwind's design, she seems to be a mix of so many things. Like, obviously, she is considered a dragon, but obviously she's got the horn of a unicorn, like bird wings, like a Pegasus and all. She's clearly a mix of so many things, and it is quite good. I'm trying to think here, what else is there? She's I think the best way I can describe Whirlwind is she's a mix. And not like a mixed bag of good and bad. I mean like a mix of so many things that make her really good. I do think, this is just simple, and the others really didn't change her that much. Because, well, what is there to change? It's already a really good design. Alright, so for day 10 of the Skylander Reviews series, we've got Zap. So this is Series 2 Zap, not Series 1. It's just the oxygen tanks that they added, so you'll just have to ignore those. But when it comes to Zap's design, I like that he's a water dragon, because every element has a dragon, but he is unique, because he fits his element, and he fits with, like, his feet being very amphibious. The fins and all, how they're replacements for wings. They are quite neat. I like the horns, and the vest is cool. He also is neat. He shoots out lightning, which makes him much different from the others who like shoot out fire or something. But overall, Zap is like a really solid water dragon, and I think that is really all I can say, because he's really good actually. I just really like Zap. For day 11 of the Skylander Design Review series, we've got Igniter. And I'm just going to say this, Igniter is the coolest looking Skylander from the original 32. In my opinion, I believe he is. Now this is Series 2, so there's a few differences. Like, this is supposed to be a sword in the original. which there'll be an image, and then the shield isn't there. But I like the idea with the whole thing of Igniter is he's a fire spirit that inherits this body that he uses, and it's just I love the color scheme, the mix of blue and silver, and the fact that like the fire comes out here and out the top. It would have been neat if fire came out of like some parts of the legs and the arms, but overall it's pretty solid. And I think even the Series 2 version is even better because it ups the ante by making this an axe and the shield on the back with the fire logo. Igniter is simply the coolest design from the original 32, in my opinion. Try and fight it. So for day 12 of the Skylander Design Review series, we've got Drobot, the most overpowered character in games. Seriously, I remember those lasers. They're so freaking cool. Anyways, they're overpowered. So, Drobot's name literally says it. His name is a combination of dragon and robot, and this really comes forward in his design. The fact that his tail is robotic, his wings are completely robotic. They could have done it where, like, it was a mix of both, but I like that they did that, and he's got this robotic helmet. And I didn't know this is Archean armor, and if you put him next to Chop Chop, the color scheme is the same, which I thought was really unique. I think one thing they could have done for the dragon part is they could have put, like, robotic like gloves here and here. That would have would have been neat, and then maybe something around here. But overall, they had to, it's a mix of a dragon, and you got to keep that. And overall, it's a solid mix for a really, really good design. So for day 13 of the Skylander Design Review series, we have here Flameslinger. So if you've seen the one about Stealth Elf and Hex, I am gonna say very much the same thing. I don't hate Flameslinger's design, I just don't think it's interesting. There are a few things I like. I love the blindfold and how in that one trailer he's got the yellow one underneath. He looks very much designed off like Robin Hood, but the thing is, like, some of the designs with characters, they do something a little more interesting, and he just doesn't really do anything that interesting. Like, it would have been neat if the bow was a little better, like, different, rather than just a regular gold. And, just the outfit isn't really that inspiring. Like, I don't hate this, but this really is not interesting to me at all. And, yeah, that's all I can really say. For day 14 of the Skylander Design Review series, we've got here Prison Break, which is probably the last iconic character that we're going to be reviewing. This is Series 2, so you'll have to ignore this back crystal. He doesn't have it. You'll see Series 1. And, what I can say about Prison Break is I quite like his design. I like how he doesn't have hands, he's got crystals for his hands. That these are made to look like armor, or at least the pattern of shoulder spikes or something. It's just he's well assembled, and I think one thing is actually, if you notice in his art, he actually has teeth, but they are not here in the on the figure. It would have been neat if they actually were, but overall, I think Prison Break's he's iconic for a reason. I think one of those reasons is his really good design. For day 15 of the Skylander Design Review series, we've got Slam Bam. So this is not Series 1, this is Series 2 Slam Bam, so you're going to have to just ignore that the armor is here. Like all these places, just ignore he doesn't have that. So with Slam Bam's design he's a Yeti. I could stop there, but I won't. He's really cool looking, I have to admit. I do love his design, but it's not anything special. I think there's something that makes him special and something that makes him strange. The fact that he's got 4 arms instead of 2 makes him unique compared to what other Yetis you see. And the one thing that is strange is that, as cool as it is with the transparent blue and stuff, the fact, like, wouldn't he be cold if he doesn't have fur there? And why doesn't he have fur there? That's just all I can say. But overall, I think, if you really think about Slam Bam's design, it's complicated, but it's cool. So for day 16 of the Skylander Design Review series, we've got Stump Smash. Ignore the lighting change, by the way. So, with Stump Smash, he is a walking tree. And once again, I could stop there, but there's a few things. In his backstory, what they said, I guess he had long, he was much bigger He had branches and everything, and then trolls or something, I don't know what it was. Cut him down, so now he's got like this, and even like right here, he had a tail, or something like that. That would have been neat to see, but also with his name, of course, Stump Smash, the way his hands are shaped, and how it is, as if they're like hammers, which comes through even better in his Series 2, in my opinion. And I do actually like how the nose kind of reminds me of Pinocchio, just the way it's shaped and everything. So, yeah, Stump Smash is a walking tree, and he's fine at that. So for day 17 of the Skylander Design Review series, we did Spyro in the first one, so now we're gonna do Cinder. So, if you remember my Spyro video, you would have known that I said that I like the Legend of Spyro design more than the Skylanders ones. And that is not the same with Cinder. I actually like Cinder's Skylander design more than how she looked in the Legend of Spyro series. I like her in this purple color more, and this is, of course, this is Series 2. But, she didn't change, really. They did basically nothing, just reposed her. But I love the color scheme with the mixes of purple and red or burgundy, whatever it is. I also love the silver horns and the choker and the bracelets. Like, it's kind of edgy in my opinion, but yeah, in my opinion, I think I like Cinder's Skylander design more than the Legend of Spyro. Alright, so for day 18 of the Skylander Design Review series, we've got the Life Dragon Camo. So Camo, in my opinion, is one of the, out of all the dragons from the original game, Camo's one of the best designed ones in my opinion. Because he really just, this is exactly how you do a Life Dragon. I love the fact that first off, his tail is a leaf, and the whole, like, his back is also, like, a bunch of leaves, it looks like. Or maybe one big one, I'm not too sure. And he's also got, like, the thorns here. And he's very colorful as well. He's got, in the lighting here, that looks blue, the tail, but he's got green, yellow, and red. And I love the way, like, his face looks with the red eyes and the horns, which are thorns. And even his Series 2 name, Thornhorn Camo. But overall, Camo is really, he just screams Life Dragon. I mean, he's one of the best dragons looking in the game. So for day 19 of the Skylander Design Review series, we've got Lightning Rod. Now, this is Series 2 Lightning Rod, and all they really did was change, he's got 2 lightning bolts, in his original he's got only 1, and to my opinion, I don't even know to say, this is boring. I know, if you like this design, that's fine. But in my opinion, I don't even know what to say. He's clearly based on Zeus, the Greek god. And, well, I mean, he literally looks like him exactly. Down to the hairstyle, the being incredibly strong, throwing lightning bolts and all. I just think it's really, really boring. I know I ripped into Flame Slinger, but I mean, I don't know. At least I can get interested. This just doesn't interest me at all. If you like this, that's fine, but I just think Lightning Rod is really, really boring. So for day 20 of the Skylander Design Reviews, we left the last one on a boring character, and now we've got well, I guess interesting one, Dino Rang. So, with Dino Rang, the whole thing is he's a dinosaur with boomerangs, just as the name suggests, but I believe he's a Stegosaurus. And that comes in design. I like the color scheme with being red and green, really opposite, like a dark color and a bright color. I like his like armor, I guess. I'm not sure if it is armor or not. And I like the boomerangs designs. They look, I don't know if they're gold or stone, but it is quite nice. I think he's just really simple, but it's kind of, I just love the idea of a dinosaur with boomerangs, and his Eon's Elite version makes him even more extreme. And plus, he's Australian. So, you know, it fits really well. So for day 21 of the Skylander Design Reviews, we've got the most forgotten character. If you remember who this is Sunburn. So, to Sunburn's design, he's a phoenix, and I could stop there, like many, but I won't. So, with Sunburn, he does have the exact color scheme as a phoenix, the red and yellow. He does have blue, which makes him more unique, but he isn't just a phoenix, actually. He is half dragon. So, usually with a phoenix is they're very bird-like, and while he is, down to him having feathers and all, and the head of what I can only describe as a chicken, really. Because he's a mix of a dragon, it makes him a little more interesting. He walks on 4 legs and isn't, entirely a bird, so I would have to say Sunburn is a phoenix and a dragon combined, and if he wasn't, he'd be bland, but because he isn't, he's pretty cool. So for day 22 of the Skylander Design Review series, we have Sonic Boom. So, Sonic Boom is kind of unique, actually, mainly because, so what she is, she's a griffin, but she is different from how a griffin is portrayed. For the fact is, she's covered in black feathers, and the whole thing of a griffin is a mixture of a lion and a eagle. The eagle part is shown up here, and the lion's shown back here, although one thing is, usually I believe griffins have, bird talons or something up here, and not entirely cat-like. So, it does balance out, and I actually do like, I didn't never notice this, her eyes, the way they're shaped, they look like moons, like a moon crescent, but if I could say anything, she's a griffin, but she is a little different than the average griffin that you see in media. Day 23 of the Skylander Design Review series, we have Wrecking Ball. Now this is Series 2 Wrecking Ball, so the difference is he does not have these giant teeth, so we just pretend that these are like very small. But the whole thing with Wrecking Ball is he's designed to be cute, with the big eyes, these, and the smile and all. His whole idea is cute, even the way he's built with these tiny little arms and legs and his big fat round body. I like the yellow spikes. They are, like, they stand out next to his entirely blue skin. Like, he's just the whole thing is just designed to be cute, like even his little tail here. And that's what the primary purpose of his design is. He's not supposed to be anything majestic or incredible. His whole idea is cute. And this design pretty much nails it. And Series 2 with these teeth is just funny. So for day 24 of the Skylander Design Review series, we've got here Zook. So the best way I can describe Zook is that he's bamboo. Or leaves. I'm a little unsure. But a lot of basically, I love the fact is what he is. I believe that they're called something in the game, Bamboo Zooker or something, I don't know. But I love the whole thing, the red, green, the color. It is actually boring how he's kind of all one color. I know he's got some yellow, but it's fine. It is unique that he's based on bamboo, which separates him from like Stump Smash. They're based on different trees, and I love I mean, the bazooka is pretty simple looking, but it's fine. The armor and bazooka match. I like this coming out of his head. He's basically a tree. He is a little more interesting than Stump Smash because, well, I think he is. For day 25 of the Skylander Design Review series, I've got, what's his name? Crash the Skylands, his favorite character, Bash. If he ever sees this, I like this design. I think it's really cool. Bash looks very intimidating. Series 2 does, the way he's posed is slightly better. And I do like, the fact is I want to make this clear, he's a dragon, he's a rock dragon. Some people have actually called him a dinosaur, and sure, like, the tail is based on the dinosaur Ankylosaurus, I imagine. But, he is a dragon. I love the way the head looks, the spikes on his back. It's just, Bash just screams tough to me. The way he's built, he's bulky, spiky, even his expression. He's just, the whole best way I can describe Bash is tough. And he's also the strongest in the game. I believe he is in the first one. For day 26 of the Skylander Design Review series, which you just saw by accident, is Warnado. So this is not the original one. This is Lightcore Warnado from Swap Force. I don't have the original, but thankfully Lightcores don't change anything about the character. So the way I can describe Warnado is, this figure actually lives up to his name with him being a turtle that flies on tornadoes. It's really cool, and I love the spikes on his shell, and that it's a different color from the rest of his body, which is blue actually, because usually turtles aren't really blue. Well, they're never. And I like the head design with the horns and the ears. It's he's overall really cool. Something because he is I consider him to be the worst of the four original Air Skylanders to play as. But I honestly think that he has the coolest design out of all those Air Skylanders. Fight me on that. For day 27 of the Skylander Design Review series, we have here Voodoo. I believe that's how you say it. The forgotten magic character. Seriously, who even remembers this character? I barely did. So with Voodoo, he's what's called an orc, which basically he's a goblin, and in the art that's expressed more because the color isn't that great, but he's kind of weird because I think he's kind of ugly, but he's actually kind of cool looking. I love the skull like headpiece that he's got there. The outfit's neat with the like dark green and gold, and the axe is it's a cool design, especially this part because this shows that it separates like it does in the game. So my opinion is this guy is a mix of ugly and cool. So for day 28 of the Skylander Design Reviews, we've got here Double Trouble. So Double Trouble is based on, I believe, like, I don't know, he reminds me of like Hawaiian stuff with like the skirt and the mask, tiki mask. I like the way his like staff looks with the ball and the dragon's things. The feathers are cool. The dark color and light color are really different from the rest of his body. But the whole thing with Double Trouble is he's essentially a mask. Like the biggest thing that stands out from him, if I turn him around, sure, but like he is a mask. The face is the biggest thing about him, with the teeth, the patterns, colors. Like this is essentially all him. Now, this is a really cool mask, especially that Royal Double Trouble where it's like purple. That's cool. So with my opinion on Double Trouble, he is cool, but really he's only cool because of this one piece. So for day 29, and the final character I can do in person, like in this, is Drill Sergeant, the goofiest robot ever. That is what I can say, but another thing is, so about Drill Sergeant, he is an Archean robot, which is expressed, he's got the color scheme of the Archeans, but I do like the fact that he's train-themed, with the wheels and the tail and the front, which reminds me of, I forget the name, but like at the front of all steam trains, and with him being a drilling machine, the way his arms are, and like the drills. The cannon on the head is cool, it's kind of goofy. And that is the best way I can describe Drill Sergeant. He is really, he's original actually. This is a design I've never really seen in any game before. So he's probably the most original design that they came up with, in my opinion. But overall, Drill Sergeant is really, really cool looking. But he's also really, really goofy looking. Bop, bop, bop. So for day 30 of the Skylander Design Review series, we have Ghost Roaster, and you will not be seeing me holding him. I don't have him, so you're just gonna have to look at this image. I'm terribly sorry, but I don't have him. So my opinion on Ghost Roaster's design is it's actually very creative, with his backstory being about how, I forget what he did, but he was chained to like the bottom of something, and the fact that his whole bottom half of some sort, he's got a tail that's his chain. It's a real interesting thing that explores his backstory. And also, I think Ghost Roaster's probably the scariest looking Skylander. I don't know, in my opinion he is. I can't really think of anyone who tops him, but just for the original game, and especially that one move where he's the flying skull and that laugh, Ghost Roaster is scary and creative when it comes to his design. So for day 31 of the Skylander Design Review series, we've got Boomer. Now, again, like Ghost Roaster, you will not be seeing Boomer. I don't have him as well. The last three, I don't have. So you'll just have to watch this image. But down to my opinion on Boomer's design, he's basically just a troll. Like, it doesn't look as good next to the others, and this is my opinion, I just want to make that clear. If you like the design, that's fine, but my whole thing with Boomer is he's just a regular troll, and he doesn't have much that makes him stand out from all the other trolls. Perhaps if he had something, he would be more interesting, but he's not. And, but the figure does live up to his name with him having all the dynamite. He's that kooky old guy. And I think his Eon's Elite version is cooler with him having actual bombs. So Boomer is fine, but boring. So for day, technically this is the 32nd, but this is coming out the same day as the Boomer one. For the final Skylander design we have is Whamshell, which is conveniently the last character ever released in Spyro's Adventure. So, like again, you won't be seeing him, I don't have him, so you'll just be seeing this image. Whamshell is very unique, actually, in my opinion. He's a crab, and I could stop there, but I won't. The thing is, compare him to, say, Gilgrunt, Zap, and Slam Bam, he looks very different, and it's really color. Color is what separates him. He's red, and he's like the only character in the water element that's not blue of any kind. That makes him stand out. I like his mace, the face, the teeth. He is unique for his element, and that has to come down to the color.